Ayo, what's up? It's Amy. Today we're reading the UC essays that got me into Berkeley. Isn't this mic so cute? Let's go! That's essay 1 out of 4, and after each one, I'm going to give a little bit of my candid thoughts because this is the first time I'm reading them since I submitted them way back then. I took the initiative to make a difference to help other students see math as I do, not as a tough subject, but as a fun and even beautiful one. Even though I could answer questions and lead teams to victory in math competitions, there were still more people I wanted to reach and improve their perspective in math. My school has an after-school tutoring program called Eagle Hour. One day, I heard from my math teacher about how sometimes Eagle Hour would be so packed that teachers are rushed and can barely get to everyone who needs help. This gave me an idea. After asking my teacher if capable math students could volunteer there, I dedicated my afternoons to helping teach students at Eagle Hour. Then, following my election as president of Mu Alpha Theta Math Honor Society, I implemented a requirement that for members to letter, they must volunteer tutor 10 hours. Because I found that many of my junior peers found math and science as their worst scores on standardized testing such as the ACT, I got together 2 friends from Mu Alpha Theta, and together we organized a summer math camp to improve students' standardized testing scores through math. We also had a session to assist students of all math levels in early preparation for their upcoming math classes. We earned a total profit of $100, all of which I donated to Khan Academy in the hopes of expanding my impact in others' education. Tutoring others in math is a meaningful experience because I love influencing others to improve in the subject by seeing it in the way I do. It is one of the greatest feelings for a student I teach to proudly exclaim to me how confident they feel in their math class now, or how they earned an A on an exam. And one of my freshman students told me how glad he is that he can now see how cool math can be. I will continue leaving a mark on the people around me, improving the world one math problem at a time. I actually had 2 typos here. I said Eagles Hour, and I didn't put an apostrophe somewhere, so it shows that it doesn't have to be perfect, but I really should have made it more perfect in terms of writing conventions. I added a lot of details, especially quantitative data, to demonstrate that I really made a positive influence. Imagine a wooden dock. Behind it, river water sparkles with light from the setting sun, its rays hitting the worn-out planks, the clear sky framing the blurred coastline of city buildings. A pair of turquoise sunglasses lies at the front of the scene, tilted away from the silhouette of a duck. In the distance flows a white sailboat. This is my favorite picture. I captured this image while lying on the dock of the Charles River in Boston with my Promise Math Camp friends, amidst one of the best summers I can remember. This photo represents not only my love for photography, but also my love for discovery, especially because it was taken during the time which my creativity was most intensely tested. When taking a picture of something, I captured the image from several angles, finding the one that highlights the beauty or unique features the most. My photos of nature are special in that they take advantage of the ability to modify angles and spacing to do more than just capture an image, but to create art. I express my creative side in a similar way to solve math problems. After solving a problem or proving a theorem, I try looking at it from a different perspective to find additional solutions. For example, as a result of my enthusiasm for discovery, I know 5 different proofs for the Pythagorean theorem. At Promise, my creativity was put to the test when every day we were given obscure problems with no instruction given to rack my brain for hours and try many different approaches before coming up with a solution. I want to pursue a career in the STEM field in order to continue expressing creativity through innovation in engineering. I love the idea that through a different way of thinking, I can make life more convenient by applying scientific theories uniquely. My knowledge can be my camera lens, while different experiments are the angles, and I want to, through these means, create or discover something impactful. For me, a wonder left undiscovered is like a picture left untaken.
Damn, son.
I think this was my favorite essay at the time. The imagery at the beginning though, super good hook. So try to incorporate that in some way because these essay readers are so tired reading thousands of applications. So you gotta stand out somehow and put them really into that picture, into the scene you want them to feel they're a part of. Just captivate their attention, you know?
Wow.
At this point, if you've liked my essays so far and if they're helpful, make sure to give me a big thumbs up so then I can help more students. Having already taken several AP classes with confidence, I chose to take AP Environmental Science junior year with the expectation that my teacher, like my others, would be the driving factor for my success on the AP exam. However, this was not the case. Instead of fervently drilling the course content into our brains, my teacher provided tedious projects that did not provide students with new knowledge. For once, I found my classmates actually complaining about the lack of learning. After reluctantly completing the tasks for the first few months of the school year, I realized I had to do something if I were to get a 5 on the AP exam. I immediately bought an AP Environmental Science review book and read it each night before going to sleep. By the middle of second semester, I could draw connections from what I learned in my book to what we did in class, gaining a deep understanding of the knowledge and thought process that the AP exam expects. Because of my eagerness to test well, my teacher used my input to create a study guide to prepare us for the exam. While my peers frankly remarked that they would simply fail the exam and gave up trying to prepare, I immersed myself in environmental science while the exam neared. I read my book during lunch, watched a plethora of videos, and took advantage of the online exam guides. I was not about to let environmental science be my worst AP score, even if I was severely lacking in year-long preparation from the classroom. I constantly worried that I did not prepare myself properly for the exam, but later received the fruit of my labor, a 5. I found that although there are people who play a large factor, I'm the only one who can determine my success. From then on, I do not resent anyone that may stand in the way of my goals, but take the obstacles as opportunities to increase my self-reliance, making an accomplishment even more satisfying. This story is completely true, just like all your essays should be. I think it's really valuable to pick out of the 8 essay prompts, one where you have to describe how you overcame a challenge or you problem solved somehow, because college is going to be really challenging and they want to see you have some sort of resilience or own proactiveness to make sure you can succeed in the classroom. Colleges want to maximize their graduation rate so then they can rank higher in those sometimes meaningless college rankings. Play the game like that. Mouth is so dry, let's read the last one. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. In 7th grade, I knew the Pythagorean theorem all too well, or so I thought. Dr. Song ordered me to prove this formula. The request stunned me, and I tried uncomfortably to think of how while he stared at me. After a few minutes, he announced that he could prove it in 42 ways. My impressed expression was responded with his memorable statement, "Math is a lot." This was my very first private math lesson, and I had excelled in math before, but it became a passion after Dr. Song's enlightenment. The math, true math, Dr. Song presented to me was way more than just equations and formulas. Instead, I discovered a way of thinking, a beautiful way of thinking that I found fun, even enjoyable. From then on, I looked forward to every Tuesday night, anticipating what new wonders Dr. Song would show me. I eagerly completed the problem sets and found new problems online to solve. School math class was no longer about finishing classwork and understanding the teacher's notes, but was about the why behind the solutions and formulas. I not only raised my hand to answer my teacher's questions, but I also asked an equal amount of questions back to quench my thirst for understanding. That first lesson marked the beginning of my long relationship with my favorite subject, math. I wanted more people to see math the way I could, so I looked for opportunities to tutor others. It felt necessary that the attitude Dr. Song taught me be shared with other people, that my math was used for a greater cause. Prior to his lessons, I had thought of myself as a quiet follower, so in the process of leading through what I love, I gained the confidence I previously lacked, using math as a channel through which I was fine with standing out in order to help others. The Pythagorean theorem may be the basis of solving other problems, but for me, it is the beginning of the pathway that helped shape the person I am today. Woo! We made it!
We did it! We did it! We did it! Hooray!
In this essay, I discovered few more typos, and I'm just wondering, like, was I just tired in the process, or like I just wasn't careful enough? I feel like my attitude would be like just to read everything like over many times to make sure it's perfect. I guess this just is evidence that even a few typos are okay, not that you should have them. You should definitely have proofreaders, as long as they are reading it word for word, that typos like this wouldn't happen. The key takeaway that came to mind when I read this one is that it really relates to the first essay. You want all 4 of your essays, and the whole application for that matter, to have this line that threads through them, that shows your consistency in your values, how great you are, how much whatever school you want to go to will want you. It showed admissions that I was being genuine in my writing. I read so many example essays because inspiration and learning by example was like one of the best things for me that helped me get into the colleges I wanted to. to. I recommend you do the same, of course, which you are doing, so good job. And of course, you're probably applying to other schools. So if you want to know what my Common App essay was like, then you gotta click here. This is the essay that got me into one of the hardest schools to get into in the whole world. And then click prompt here. I'm losing it. I can't. Oh, I haven't read this much since like elementary school out loud. Woo! I'm so fatigued. Maybe that wasn't good. Don't need to say that.